Shalom. First and foremost, above all things, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's definitely due to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. I'm from the Prophets in Babylon out of the Waco, Texas camp, affiliated with the branch of Prophets in Babylon, Tampa Bay, Florida. I'm your brother Atiyat. I'd like to give a special double honors to the elders and apostles on down at Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. May the blessing of election be upon your household, on you sincere brothers and you few sisters out there. And lesson for today is, it is a blessing to be chastened. And Lord willing, I hope and pray that this will be an edifying lesson. I did a video about being chastened not too long ago, but I thought in the spirit that I would do it again because, the Lord chastens those that he's dealing with, So we have to consider it a blessing. When you think about it, you got the 2/3 out there, and some of them really are not. Their feet are not really held by the fire right now. But when things get bad out here, that's when their feet are going to be held by the fire. And some jakes are already getting their just due, but at the end of the day, they're not serving YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, right? So we're serving YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, so the Lord is, specifically going to chasten those that serve him. And, that's kind of like making, to, a diamond in the a diamond in the rough. You have to, fix it up. In order for it to get its full value, you have to do certain things to enhance it. And the same thing with us. The Lord has to chasten us in certain areas that we fall short in order to us to perfect us. So without further ado, I'm gonna go into Hebrews chapter 12. And let me start here in verse 6. For whom the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. Yeah. So those that YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is dealing with, he's going to chasten them. He's going to do that. And consider it a good thing. Verse 7, if we endure chastening, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is dealing with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chastened not? Yeah. In the scriptures it tells you if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. But the Lord, he's gonna continue to chasten us in areas that we need to be chastened in. I mean, when you think about it, a lot of these kids that are growing up, they're not being corrected for the things they're doing wrong. A lot of times, especially when they're being raised by single parents, that just be, a single mother. A lot of times they just be fussed at, yelled at, to the point to where they get used to the yelling. But with YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, he chastens you, so that that's punishment. If you can endure the chastening of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, then he's going to continue on to deal with you. You know, um, like I said, like it says towards the end, for what son is he whom the father chastens not? Yeah. So we want to be a son of Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, then we're gonna have to endure chastening and deal with it. And at the end of the day, the chastening, it helps us to be patient. You think about it. You got to go to work. That's chastisement already. Having to be around a bunch of non-believers. Beginning with Esau, Edom. You know, that's chastening right there. To have to go be around people that are non-believers. That's why for me, and I'm pretty sure you brothers you feel the same way when you go out. And be amongst the brothers, you feel somewhat at ease compared to how you feel being around these people that don't believe. You know what I mean? You feel within your element because you're around the brothers, that have, beginning with the elders, because they have, as the scriptures say, that the shepherd has great care for his sheep. So you feel that. You feel the spirit of Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi amongst his men. So you enjoy that. That's a time to, whether you're at the camp or whether sometimes brothers get together and be amongst the other brothers that's in the same spirit that we're in, serving Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi. It's a great feeling, man. So that's why the scriptures tell you that what is a good thing, roughly paraphrasing that, that for brethren to dwell together, how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together, man. So you feel that spirit, and Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi is with us at that time when all that's, when that happens. But then in the meantime, a lot of times, like I say, we got to go to work and be around amongst the non-believers. You have to listen to what they're saying, and even though you could care less what they're talking about, but you have to play that role. You know what I'm saying? So, that's part of that chastening too. Verse 8, but if ye be without chastisement, whereof all partakers, then are ye bastards or not sons? Yeah, so if Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi is not chastening you, then, he's not dealing with you. He has to chasten you and to get you in the spirit that he wants you to be in, Verse 9, furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh who corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? Yeah, of course we do. We want to be corrected by Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, because if we're not being corrected for the things we're doing wrong, then that means that the Lord is not dealing with you. So if the Lord's not dealing with you, that's not a good thing. But even, when we were growing up, us brothers who were blessed to have a two-parent household, your father would correct you. I know personally, my father did that. If I messed up, if I really messed up, yeah, my father would deal with me, And I look back on it now, and I feel like I see it, especially now coming into this truth, and I'm thankful that Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi blessed me to have come from a two-parent household, because I got to see the dynamics of the interaction of men and man and wife. But to have a father to correct you, that's beautiful. But to have YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, the Father of living spirits, to correct you, that's way, way, way far more better, you know. Verse 10, for there verily for a few days chasten us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. Yeah, so, you have certain people, whether it's at your job, whether it's dealing with your family, your woman, that try to chasten you for their own pleasure. Like a lot of times you have people that you may work for and they'll chasten you, and you know what you're doing as far as your job's concerned, but they'll still try to chasten you in certain areas because they know they can do that, because they know that they have that, they're a supervisor and they supervise over you, so they know they can do those certain things. But with YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, it's gonna, him chastening us, we're gonna profit from it. See, here in the world, your supervisor chastens you, it doesn't profit anything. Other than you maybe being able to keep your job. But we know that YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is the one that gave you the job in the first place. So we understand these things because the Lord is the as the scriptures say, he's the Father of spirits. So he controls those spirits that hire you. But see, with YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, we profit from the chastening of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. And these other people in the world, whether it be your woman, whether it be your family or your job, what have you, they do it for their own pleasure, Verse 11, now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yielded peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Yeah, so no chastening feels good, Sometimes we can be chastened by brothers that's over us, those times happen too. But at the end of the day, being chastened by YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, it yields peaceable fruits. One that comes to mind is to be patient, especially in this kingdom, this wicked kingdom we live in, which is basically a powder keg. You don't want to, you don't want to lose it like these other people are doing right now. Right now, a lot of these people out here, they're losing it, And so being chastened, you don't want to lose it. You just want to stay patient and try to do better, Now, I'm going to go into Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3. And verse 4. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is the hope of full of mortality. Yeah, so sometimes we are punished in the sight of other men, whether it be amongst the brotherhood, whether it be amongst the people of the world, but yet that we have that hope of full, that's full of more hope, that hope full of more immortality, which is meaning that we're going to live forever. That's the elect, so they have that hope, but even then, there are times when we have to be chastened, whether it be, from in the world or whether it be amongst the brotherhood. Brothers may correct you in front of other brothers. Certain things you might have went off on, go off on, what have you. And the brothers may have to correct you, you know, and that happens. The main thing is to understand that it's through the spirit of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. You got to understand, again, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is the creator of spirits. So he controls everything. He controls the narrative of how things are going to be, or what a brother's going to say to you, you know. So if you're going off, you know, be in a mindset to be willing to be corrected, you know. Don't get into a mindset of a child to where you resenting to be corrected, you know, because it's through the spirit of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI that you're being corrected, you know. So Lord willing, I hope and pray that this was an edifying lesson, again, about chastening. And once again, I want to give all praises and honor and glory that's definitely due to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI BAHASHAM Rakakradash. Special double honors to the elders and apostles on down at Great Millstone. And peace and salutations to the elect. Until the next time, Lord willing, I'll say shalom.